All right, Briggs out. Here we go, my friend. Hey! This song is called Contagious.
It was recorded in 2011.
One is Homey Awards, I guess, is really where it is, because like that's, I would say, end of 2010 maybe. Kind of Contagious is kind of like the 2.0 of a situational bass, I think, for us. So when we started writing Contagious, it was kind of like, from my understanding, if I can remember right, is it happened pretty quickly.
Oh yeah.
We were recording and jamming all the time at that point. So I think that you had a rough idea, then we started making it sound bigger and kind of like give it a lot more room to breathe, and it just kind of fell into place.
And it was just
for
the
us.
two of us.
Yeah.
The recording of Contagious is really, it's just me and you. I played bass. So BTB morphed out of me needing a band to play live for the EP I put out.
Right,
which
wanting
was
an outlet for
Emancipator.
that stuff, right.
And then I didn't know what to call it. And I didn't want to call it Brett Talley, because to me, the music just, I even think Grape Street even labeled me as just Brett Talley the night we first played, and I made a big deal out of it because I was like, it makes it sound like I'm a singer-songwriter, and I didn't want it like that. So that's why there was no originality to it. We were just Brett Talley band.
Yeah, I think at that time we're coming off the point of you being a solo artist.
But yeah, that's how BTB formed, was out of the need for a live band for the EP I was doing. We had played first at Grape Street as a three-piece, and Jamie Orlando was there in the crowd, and I remember him loving Contagious. I remember him coming up to me saying that was his favorite song of the night.
That's awesome.
Yeah, when we were playing Logan House, that was our first big show, and my car broke down on the driving 95. I had a flat.
Yeah.
With all my gear in it.
Oh no.
Got to the gig super late. You broke your finger this night, right?
Yeah, I just looked at Katie, my pinky, that night. I slammed it down on the snare drum.
Yeah. Second song in, though, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't it
and I
two songs in and you were done?
Yeah, and I taped it up to play the rest of it. Yeah.
So Contagious was recorded at my old house on Cotman Ave, right? That was Boss Man Studio.
Did you have Pro Tools yet?
Yeah.
I think you just got Pro Tools when we started working on that, because I don't think Emancipator was on Pro Tools.
No. But yeah, we did it at my basement studio, which at the time was called...
Boss Man.
I just said that. Boss Man Studio. We had the drums. I remember right behind my desk, there was no separation.
Right.
So you were recording drums, or anyone was recording drums, and I'd have to sit there with headphones in the room with them because I didn't have isolation like
In
I
the
do
same
here.
room.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. At that house, I used to put the guitar amps in the garage. On Contagious, there's a guitar that comes in after the second chorus that was recorded in the bathroom. I put the amp on the toilet. I put the microphone in the shower stall. I recorded that real crazy guitar that I would always play live. I recorded that. I wanted it to be real ambient sounding. I remember we did all your stuff in one day, and then I think I did some that same day, even after you left. And then I finished it, I think, the next day or that week. Because we had it. It was one of the first songs that we recorded where we had the song beforehand, right?
Yeah, because we had the music down. We had you had an idea of the melody that you wanted to do. So remember, I think when we were working through it, you were humming it and going through it that way, so we knew to give it enough room.
Yeah.
I think out of all the recordings really that we've done, this is probably the one with the most room where everything kind of had its own,
It sounds huge.
Yeah, and that was the whole idea, but it kind of came so naturally.
Mm-hmm. I was listening to the band Failure, specifically the song Heliotropic. I love that song, and I love the bass tone on that. And that's what sparked the idea that I always wanted to have a song that would start off with one instrument, then the other instrument would come in, then the other instrument would come in, and then it would just explode into this like massive, like droney sounding song that would just grab everyone instantly.
It has that hypnotic properties to it that just kind of like sucks you in. You just kind of like bob your head, and anytime you do that, it's gold right there.
And it's very shoegazy as well, you know. And that specifically, that was the kind of sound that I wanted to have for that band. You know, like Places That I Love was in that ballpark, but it was a little bit more poppy. But like the way Contagious was where I saw the band always kind of being in that realm. Like, had we kept going, and like that's where I wanted the music to lean, like more on like the darker, heavier side, because I never really did anything like that.
We did
The Contagious was always great.
There's a show that stands out, and almost like a company song with that is we played a show at where is it, upstairs at David Buster's. We played Black Metallic by Catherine Wheeler.
Yes,
and those two just like paired off against each other
perfectly.
So well. Play a part of like Close Encounters.
Yes,
in, like, one of the nights we played.
I would at the very end of the song, when you're doing like your big rock ending, I would always put the notes from Close Encounters of the Third Kind. When I would look down at the set list and I would see that like that song was next, I would get so like, oh yeah, here we go.
Or sometimes like when another band, you look at set list, you're like, oh shit, really? How many more till I get to this song I want to play?
Oh yeah. Contagious is a huge song when you listen to it, which is what I wanted.
We pulled it off almost every time.
With no tracks.
Yeah, no tracks.
That's amazing. Heck yeah.
So the reason we're doing this is because the song was never available for streaming. And the thing was, with BTB, we never really did anything. We never put an album out. Mm-hmm. We had songs, we had recordings, but we would put them out. Like Contagious is on YouTube, like the original recording. Okay. It's just a picture of us. But it's never been on streaming, and people have always asked me about it. And to be honest with you, there were some things about the recording that I didn't like that I always wanted to go back and fix. I decided I was going to go back into the session and fix that stuff. And like once I did, I started like having fun and like reworking stuff. I was like, oh my God, like I should redo this and put it back out and do it right this time on streaming. We made CDs. Remember the CDs we had? We did have CDs that had this song and a couple others that we had at the time that we gave out at gigs. I don't think we even sold them. We just gave them out for free.
Yeah.
We gave them out.
3-song sampler.
Yeah.
But it was an interesting time because like the point of our lives, we're in our early 30s. Plus at the same time, like you got Pro Tools, you're learning about Pro Tools, you're excited about that, excited about writing your own music and contributing to that with somebody else. Then, on top of that, you're like, you had a solid gig with Ike. Mm-hmm. And you're balancing all that together.
Yeah, I was trying to balance it all. And that was before like having a son.
Yeah. Plus, at that time, Ike just did Tie the Knot.
Yeah.
Around that time?
Yeah, Tie the Knot was 2009, 2010.
Yeah. So right about that time, you're coming off those sessions and writing your own stuff. So you had a full book.
A lot. I was doing a lot. Somebody asked me once at a gig what it was about, and I didn't want to say. So I, real quick, was like, "Oh, it's about True Blood." Anytime anyone asked me what the song was about, I would just say, oh, it was inspired by True Blood. I said that to somebody once at a gig. It was definitely at the Queen. Someone came up to me and said, I have a contact at HBO, and if you're serious, I would like to pitch your song Contagious to the producers for True Blood to see if we can get it on the show or get it on the soundtrack. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. So
I remember I had to send an email the next day with the song, the lyrics, and never heard back. So Mark Rogers in 2011, or I guess it would have been 2012, I guess. He had the 2011 Homey Awards, and Contagious got nominated for Song of the Year, and then Jamie got nominated for Best Drummer, and I got nominated for Best Guitarist, and we won. We won all 3 awards.
Wow. Congratulations.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Contagious won
Nice.
Best Song of the Year. Made me laugh because
How did
it
that feel?
wasn't available.
Yeah, it was just.
It won best song of the year, and like the people that had it were people who came to the gig and took a free CD, or heard it on YouTube. The bathroom guitar I always thought should be a little bit louder. The snare drum I always thought should be a little bit beefier. All fixed.
Thank you, technology.
14 years later, we did it.
Yeah, I could always hear that as like a wrestler's like coming out song when they come
Yeah.
out into the ring.
That's how I wrote it.
Boom, dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
Like the
It's
dude,
like it's like an intro
someone's
song.
gonna get their butt kicked.
Yeah.
And it's a great headphone song, and I mixed it like that on purpose. Like when you listen to it, there's things coming in and out, and it's just this wall of sound. And it was just the 2 of us doing it. You know, that's what I love about it. It's like, and then when we would do it live, the fact that we could replicate it and make it sound pretty comparable to the recording with just 3 of us, was awesome.
Love is not contagious.